What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the SOOP Duel series. Today, Best versus Speed, a much more recent matchup than we've had so far in the SOOP Duel series. This, I believe, was played in March of 2025. We've got more accurate information now, and the map pool really reflecting the recency of this series. And so we're going to be putting the time, once we figured out exactly when it was, I'll put that in the description of the YouTube video. But getting into this series, guys, it's going to be a lot of fun. Best and Speed have both been performing extremely well recently, and this is an online event, so Speed should be playing on his top form. He hasn't really been showing up in offline, probably because he's so new to the scene in terms of, you know, ASL and other big events. He does perform way better when he's in his element, when he's sitting at home, you know, in the comfort of his own place, at his desk with his own setup. Going into the studio, it takes a long time to get used to it and to play at your absolute peak performance. Also, the pressure of getting deeper into the tournament, it starts to really mount. It takes a certain type of person and a certain amount of experience to really get used to that. So we're looking forward to more great things from Speed in the future, and here we should be getting the best out of him. We're starting here on Dominator with the gateway first. Best gonna try and pressure Speed. Best has also been playing kind of out of his mind recently and is starting to come into his own, make less mistakes in those offline tournaments. We usually see him online dominating things like KCM, etc. But offline, he hasn't found the greatest amount of success, and so he is somebody who's been there for a while. Oh, the first Marine goes down. Bit of a mistake there from Speed, getting caught by on top of that SCV, and the Zealot takes the opportunity to get a few punches in there, pick off that first Marine. That's pretty rough. Ooh, Speed throws down a secondary factory. 2 factory play going to be coming out of Speed this game. So we're going to see hyper aggressive play from him. Now, will he float that into the main? I don't think he will, but it's possible. He's placed it in such a location where it's very quick to float up into that main base, and we'll see if he wants to opt for that. 2 SCVs have been brought forward here. Good pullback there on that first SCV. Second one going to be targeted down quite quickly, though. 2 SCVs have been lost, and he hasn't managed to seize the high ground away from the Protoss player here just yet. Got to be very careful. If all 3 of those Zealots dive on top of this Vulture, and the Vulture gets trapped between the Marines and the Zealot, it could die extremely quick. Now, he is doing a good job microing here with the Vulture, trying to get as much damage as he can, but here comes the Dragoon now. Dragoon is going to come up right into the front. Zealots are going to jump on top of those Marines. First Vulture is making its way. No, not first Vulture. First SCV. That SCV, I wish he wouldn't send that out. That's a little bit rough. Yeah, he sends it out, and now he sees the SCV coming from a very weird angle, and Best might read into this, right? He should read into this and go, huh, why is your SCV down like at the bottom of my main base? That's weird. Maybe there's a proxy out there or something like that. And so Speed kind of giving away the bag a little bit here. He's kind of letting that information drop a little bit early, which I'm not a big fan of. In fact, Best's just going to back away, kind of realizing like, oh, there might be something serious going on here. Maybe I need to go back home instead of just sitting on the high ground like I thought he would. Had that not been revealed. Oh, gonna slip by here. Oh, 1 hit left on that 1 Vulture. It's gonna go right into the main base. 2 Vultures here in the main, starting to lay down mines. He's gonna start to do a lot of damage here. Shame that Best wasn't in that wall. I think he started to pick up on what was going on, but didn't react properly there. Bringing all the Dragoons out to the front. Rather than, yeah, and he is going to tap out. Oh, yeah, rather than blocking the entrance to the base, he puts all of his Dragoons way out there in the front, and Speed gets way too much damage. Ooh, very well played here by Speed. realizing it was going to be so tough to push up onto that high ground, and he really needed something to be able to deal damage to Best. Otherwise, he was going to fall so far behind. Pulls the trigger immediately on that 2 factory play, and it works out beautifully. We got a first win on the board here for Speed. Here we are with game number 2. Best spawning bottom left. Speed top right on Eclipse. Pretty tough map overall for Terran. It's a real struggle to get your third base, and there are plenty of lanes that are not really connected anywhere in the middle, and so it's very hard to cut off counterattacks and prevent them. You end up having to go all the way back to your side of the map a lot as the Terran player if you want to defend any of those counterattacks, and it can also be hard to deal with bases that are taken on opposite sides of the map, way down in the bottom right and way up in the top left. So we'll see how Speed handles Best here. Will he be able to get another quick win, or are we going to go into a long game? I know that Best likes to sit back a little bit, build up into a massive army, and try to just crush you as you take a third base. That's the style I think he is most effective with. Trying to block here on the ramp. We've seen we've seen Speed do this quite a bit. Kind of a failure there, but it's fine. If you can block that probe from ever coming up the ramp here on Eclipse with the first SCV, then it's possible to just get your build going as normal. Just completely block out the gas steal, but unfortunately kind of whiffed there with that first SCV getting onto the ramp. He's not able to block it, and this gas steal will be underway. Now Speed really does have to play Best's game. Best going to follow this up with a Nexus. Now he needs to keep this probe alive here to make sure that there's not just to check and see what's actually going on, because there could be a second barracks get thrown down here. That is a possibility. Looks like Speed gonna start attacking that assimilator. If he attacks it with about 3 SCVs, then as soon as he throws down his 3 or 4 SCVs, something like that, he can start his gas right after he throws down the CC on low ground. But he gets in here, he sees the fast expansion out of Best, and Best is going to go the most greedy possible build, it seems like. Although he hasn't thrown down anything yet with 150 minerals. Is he going to throw down a gas, or are we going to see a forge? He's got the pylon in the front, which could result in a cannon. I think he just dropped the forge now. Pulling the probes here to try and deal with this bunker that's being thrown up by Speed. Speed is not going all in behind this. Oh, he gets the SCV. That's pretty good. And that SCV is pretty annoying. He almost gets the second SCV as well. Wow. A lot of damage on that. 1 probe gets lost, but this is fine. Best is doing just fine here. Oh, it wasn't the forge, actually, what I heard. It was the gas going up in the main base. So he starts the gas. Just full confidence that he's going to be able to block this here with just some probes. Good target fire. Gets a second probe there. Nice. Getting quite a bit of probe damage. And the bunker will be filled now. Takes quite a bit of time to get Dragoon range out here to actually deal with this bunker. So, you know, it's going to take quite a while before Best can get rid of this. He's sending 1 Zealot across the map. 1 Marine is coming out here. 2 Marines, actually. And the Zealot's just going to run right past those 2 Marines. Almost enough to deal with that Zealot. With some good micro, he'll easily be able to hold off against that. The Zealot's just going to drag these around a little bit more. Marines can hop in and out of the bunker and just be a bit annoying with that task switching. Speed might be able to get a probe or something. The Zealots need to keep on moving back and forth here. The shields, there takes so many hits to kill a Zealot, so they can definitely tank. It's just you don't want to stand there and just let the Marines hit you. It has to go back and forth here. 2 SCVs coming forward. Another bunker going to be placed down. Oh, this is getting a little bit intense now. Okay, Zealot going to go up into this main. 2 Marines are still being dragged around the map because of this. Start to hit that Nexus. 4 Zealots are out. He should be able to kill this. Yeah, that SCV goes down really, really quick. Can he get the second SCV? He's actually going after the bunker. Gonna go after the SCV with the probes, so that goes down. Can he get inside the second bunker? Oh my gosh, he gets in the second bunker. I think with 1 Marine, no, 2 Marines get in there. That's big. Those 2 Marines are super annoying right now. In fact, the probe count is dead even with the SCV count. And so I think this was relatively successful. Was it completely worth? I don't exactly know, but I think it was all right. Speed, again, he made the CC right away. It's not like he delayed that by a lot. He has a bunker back at home. He's going to finish that in time. He's got Marines to throw inside of it. He has his factories down, and the probe to SCV count dead even. And so this game will just go on. Overall, I think pretty even game. Let's see what Best does after the fact. He's actually going to go for Robo. And Speed sent this SCV all the way around the bottom side of the map to get in here and get this information. That's perfect. Absolutely perfect here from Speed. Oh, diving on top of this ramp. Can he actually get up here? SCVs are going to be pulled to block this. Beautiful pull here by Speed. All these Zealots are going to go down. And he can pull out of the bunker and go and finish this off as well. He sees the armory at least, but not going to be allowed to get up inside that main base. Second Zealot comes up. Can he actually block this? Really good blocking with the SCVs. Dude, Speed is so good with these SCV pulls. This is one of those things that reminds me a lot of Flash with Speed's play, is just his ability to get the SCVs into the right spot. He is so good at controlling SCVs. Very Flash-esque. More of more heavily reliant on vultures than Flash was. That's for sure, I think. You know, more of a sharp style of play with the way that he utilizes vultures. But I think if Flash comes back in this modern era, he's going to use vultures in a similar way. Oh god, these Dragoons out of position. Does manage to throw down a couple of pylons in the wall to make sure that he can't get in there. We'll block the next vulture as well. Going over to this center left, Best will get his third online, but it's quite late. 750. Third base is about to come up for Best. And yeah, that Nexus just gets started now. This is a bit rough. Speed, I don't know what this tank is doing. This tank needs to head back home, man. That is craziness. Did he identify that there was a Dragoon on very low HP or something? He's going to set down some mines. Observer's not out yet. He's got a shuttle, though, with Reaver and some Zealots. So that should be able to clear up everything, but it'll alert Speed to the information of, you know, what's actually coming his way at least. Dropping a Zealot behind this should just clear everything. Yeah, that Reaver going to help out a bit, but he gets another Dragoon. Not too bad, and this is buying time for Speed. This Reaver should be heading across the map right now, but he's seeing the Reaver and he's delaying it by quite a bit. So he's going to be able to set up mines inside his base, put down tanks and stuff. Oh, something canceled there. It was a gateway? Oh, I see. He just wanted to cancel it to get a bit of better flow going through his base. Make sure that he wasn't cutting off any units trying to come out onto the map. You can see Best a little bit tilted, maybe having to replace some gateways there. You would suspect that, you know, Best would have this kind of mapped out in his head, how to place gateways on Eclipse. It's not like he hasn't played this map before. It's a new map or anything like that. This map has been out for a long time, and you know that Best has played hundreds, if not thousands of games on this map. And so just making a small mistake like that, I don't want to read too much into it, but maybe feeling a little bit flustered with the way that Speed has been hitting him over and over again with these different plays and hurting his Nexus First, not really giving him the advantages that Nexus First would usually give. Kind of cutting into those early game economic benefits. And now Speed is going to start to move out. He's ready and on curve for an 11-minute third, if that's indeed what he wants to do. A lot of factories in the main. I'm not sure if Best has seen all of that, as the probe or the observer was actually pushed out of the main for the most part. He's going to get an observer here too. Nice job picking off that observer. There's a lot of factories in here. I'm not sure, but I think Speed is actually going to pull the trigger on an immediate attack. He's building up a bunch of buildings out here in the front, kind of baiting Best to come in and try to fight him. But I don't think that Speed is going to try and move towards this third base. Oh boy, here we go. Double Reaver in the natural. Double Reaver in the natural could get so much damage. Pulling out here, but not that well. Oh, Speed. Oh, Speed, what happened there? He didn't mineral walk out of that main, or out of that natural up to the main. And so ends up losing a lot of SCVs. My goodness, that was like 15 SCVs, something like that. Dude, massive damage was just done there. And Best gets out with one of those Reavers. That is truly rough. Speed, I think he's just going to go with the game plan here and go for that attack now. I don't see him trying any other way. Like going into a third base, now that you've lost all those SCVs, that's going to be a little bit rough. Best cycling around. He's going to drop the Reaver on high ground over at that third base, most likely. And so Speed's just going to go for it. Here he comes straight across the map. Yeah, that's 6 factory. 6 factory play here from Speed. Reaver going to be dropped into that main base. Tank sieging up. As soon as it pops out, he should be able to kill the Reaver. Yeah, that Reaver should die before the tank does. Yes, they both trade out. And so he gets rid of that, dropping Zealots on top of this. Best is so good at dealing with these type of attacks. Dude, he's got too much. He's just diving right on top of this. Speed, 2 stacked up with the tanks. Gets crushed here on high ground, even with the +1 and this 6 factory timing. And no Reaver here either, by the way, guys. No Reaver was brought to help defend this. He absolutely shuts down this push, and we might see a tap out here from Speed any moment. Maybe wanting to hang in there, thinking he might still have a chance, but dude, this is looking brutal. 40 supply advantage for Best, and every tank was just killed. Every single tank. So he's going to look for some damage with some of these vultures. But Best doing a great job shutting that down. Did manage to get the Nexus started over at that 4th before the vulture got in there to deny the probe, and so that's fine. Nexus will finish up eventually. Yeah, you can deal a little damage to it, but Best is going to be bringing up another observer here soon, along with some of these Dragoons to start clearing that out. At the same time, rotating around for some more damage potentially onto Speed's base. I don't think that Speed could just push here again. If he wants to play this game out, I think the right call would be to go for a third, but it is such a brutal deficit that he's found himself in. He hasn't really been making more SCVs either. Still sitting here at 45. Big hits are going to come through on this worker line. Again, not pulling to the mineral patch, and so these SCVs are really bunching up. Oh, huge kill there. Absolutely massive kill. Down to just 36. Another 10 workers down, but Speed is actually attacking this. He's pulling the trigger on this attack. Going straight in here. There's enough Zealots, I think, to clear everything, though. Dragoons are coming in from behind. They're actually running right into mines, though. Dude, if he loses a lot to mines here... Okay, never mind. All the SCVs in the main are going to die. And so, regardless of what happens with this fight, I think that Speed is going to have to tap out. He's just lost too much economy. He can't follow this up. Eventually, Best will put together some shuttles and Zealots to drop on top of this stuff. Enough Dragoons to clear everything out. And GG is called. Well played, Best. Bringing it back to an even series, 1-1. Game number 3 here on Polestar. Best bottom left. Speed in the bottom right. Guys, we reached our gym's goal for this month, and so we're gonna have Shun on for a co-cast. I think it's gonna be on Saturday or Friday for you guys, if you're in North America. The YouTube video will come out on Saturday for sure. And so I really appreciate all the support. The gems that have been gifted have helped out a lot, and I have a very good feeling that we're going to be able to continue this series going forward into the future. We've got Best here. A little bit of a conservative gateway. We'll see if he goes for... Okay, there's the gas. Not going to send out an early probe this time. It is a 4-player map, so chances of getting another gas steal is very low. Speed just going to grab his gas, and it's looking like a more normal game. This is a very nice map. Polestar has given us a lot of good games so far. I think this is a map that may end up standing the test of time. Similar to something like Eclipse, where it's been around for a very long time. It has its quirks and its different balance issues and different matchups. I'm sure we'll find out some balance issues as it gets more games played. Maybe there'll be a little bit of a tilt in one direction or the other in terms of who ends up winning more and more, but I think it's going to be one of those maps that stands the test of time, and we end up seeing this played for multiple seasons. If not, I would be pretty surprised. Speed here going to scout top left. He's gone the longest possible way in order to get this scout. In fact, he's going to send his first Marine straight out. Gallons, 10 gems as well. Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Welcome. Welcome back. Yeah, I saw you typing earlier. Appreciate you guys being here, hanging out in the live stream, chatting with me between the games and talking about stuff. We're trying not to talk about the ASL and the results. Try to keep it spoiler-free as best we can. Of course, if you say anything at all, people will get mad about spoilers, but it's hard to contain the excitement. I know, it's tough. I sympathize with you guys on both sides of the argument. Hard to contain the excitement. Trying not to talk about it also. People are busy. They don't have time to watch as soon as the ASL comes out sometimes, and so they don't want to be spoiled by watching something else, anything else Broodwar related. It looks like a Nexus has been started here. Speed gets through and sees absolutely everything and gets out with the SCV. Very nice scout there. That's a lot of Marines, my goodness. Strong FD possibly? Kind of looks like a strong FD push. A lot of Marines. First tank is going to come out now. Probably follow that up with a bunch of vultures. Just rallying vultures. If you don't know what an FD is, it's a fake double. Fake double factory. And so we're going to see Best have to react to this, but we don't want to see him overreact to it because it's not a full-on all-in here for what we're seeing from Speed. He's not like, I have to get damage here or I'm just going to lose this game. He just wants to poke in, see if he can force a response, maybe pick off a couple of probes if possible. If he actually wants to pull the probes here, maybe get a Dragoon kill or two. Trade out these Marines because the Marines are not going to be scaling too well. The Vulture comes in, gonna see, target down a couple of probes. 1 probe, 2 probe, 3 probes so far. Not bad at all. There goes the Marines. And he gets the mines down here in the natural as well. Can he get a Dragoon? Pretty close to getting one of those already. Vulture comes running in. He's gonna try and run right up on top of this. A bit aggressive with the Vulture, actually. Kind of a mistake there from Speed. He will lose that. Eventually, Best is going to have this Observer out. And so it's unlikely any more damage will come down. It's just a little bit of a poke, a little bit of pressure here. It's going to slow down Best ever so slightly. And in fact, it has done a little bit better than most strong FD pushes that we see at the highest level. Best went with the wall response, trying to hold things back with that wall, and as a result, okay, another probe or another pylon there, just barely able to hold that back. Great job by him. Tank was left out here a little bit too long, so Speed actually shooting himself in the foot a bit, I would say. He should have killed that pylon and just booked it. Get the heck out of there. Because he kind of undermined his position by doing this. Now he's only got the one tank. Second tank pops. If he's got 3 tanks here, there's no way these Dragoons can dive in. But now that there's only 2, he thinks about it. If he starts to kill more tanks, that really ruins the position for Speed. That's going to take a little bit of a faster third base this time around. 6-minute 50. Going to be snagging that. And so Speed did some good damage. Harmed his position slightly with that lost tank. But he's got behind this a 3-factory push. Now 3-factory is pretty strong at punishing a quick third base like this. Best might not have the unit count just yet. Might not have the gateway count out to deal with this. He's got quite a few Dragoons. He is on 3 gateways, but 3 gateways to 3 factories, that does favor the Terran quite a bit. These vultures are going to go around the backside, try to lay down mines behind these Dragoons. Let's see if he can make it happen. The Dragoons at least forced to retreat for now. They need to go back here to deal with these mines behind the army. Oh, it's going to run forward, go after the tank. Not the best reaction time there for Speed. He does lose 1 tank already. Forcing this army back, though. This is exactly how you want to do an attack like this for Speed. Forcing the army out of position. Some Dragon's going to rotate around the side, but they're actually going to get cut off here, it seems like. Maybe going to be able to do a flank with that? We'll see. This little doodad here at the front is quite annoying for Best to try and deal with. He's got to get on top of those tanks. Oh! The retreating army is actually going to get caught here by the flanking force. These Dragoons gunning down all the tanks so efficiently. 5 Dragoons. 2-shotting these tanks over and over again. He loses about 5 tanks there. He is getting in and dealing quite a bit of damage. My gosh, look at how much damage on these vultures. Probe count down to just 28. So a trade of tanks for a lot of probes. Now that favors Speed if he's able to get into a third base here, but it's hard on this map. There's a lot of space between the third and the natural. And Best still has a pretty big army count despite having lost so much of his economy. Reavers coming out now. Army's looking strong. But another run by into the natural. Dude, there's so much damage. Best actually maybe needs to dive in. Maybe dive into the natural now. We're going to see that dive here as the probes are going down. There's not a whole lot here for our Terran. The mine gets taken down. This Reaver is going to clear out that tank, diving in on top of everything. Oh, the mines here on the high ground are going to be able to stop this for a small amount of time. The Reaver was taken down. Running up this ramp against all these SCVs blocking a tank on high ground is pretty rough. He even puts down a building there in order to try and block this. 13 probes, 12 probes. Wait, hold up. That is so much probe damage. It's crazy, but the Dragoons are now on top of everything. We're going to start to see the SCVs fall really quickly here. A tank gets killed there. That definitely should have been pulled back. More mines are going to get thrown out here. Seems like Speed is focused on dealing more damage rather than trying to stabilize his position. Dude, this is crazy. Yeah, you can see, I think that Best has it now. Even with only 13 probes, he's able to take it home. Crazy game. Oh my goodness, what an insane one we just witnessed. Best realizing that he was in such a rough economic position. He had to make it happen there. Diving the natural turned out to be the perfect decision. Gets in there, takes him out just before Speed was ready back at home. I can't say enough how big that catch was, though, in the middle of the map, killing off, what, 4 or 5 tanks with just 5 Dragoons. That was some insanely good value for Best, and it allowed that bust afterwards. If those tanks had made it back home, you would have had 5 tanks in the natural. There's no way Best is just going to run that over. You can see how close it was with only 2 tanks. Here it is. Radeon. Our match number 4. And we're going to get the announcement here shortly as well for our next SOOP Duel series. We've been getting those announcements kind of rolling out at various times, either the day before or on the day. Hopefully we're going to get a schedule for the future. I'd really like to see that so we can kind of plan things out. Turns out the best day for Shundicast, though, is on Friday, I guess. Friday on North American time. Saturday in UK. And so that's when we're going to bring him on for that dual cast. Regardless, I guess, of which matchup it is. But the matchups so far in the SOOP Duel series have been banging pretty much every single time. We haven't had a lot of duds in the SOOP Duel series so far. We've had a couple, but for the most part, has been a really fun and interesting series. A lot of great games. I've really enjoyed casting all of these for you guys, and I'm looking forward to doing a lot more in the future. I'm sure these videos and these casts are not going to get nearly as many views right now in the ASL during the ASL season, because so many of you are busy watching those games, but I think this will be an awesome in-between seasons event. When the ASL season, when we're in the ASL off season, we'll be able to still watch a lot of great Broodwar content, and I think that's awesome. That's the best for the scene and for all the viewers out there. Just have something like consistently coming out every week, even during that ASL off season. Just tide us over and keep us interested. Keep the competition alive. Get you prepared for the next season of ASL. Now, a block here in the natural. We hardly ever see a probe pylon blocking a Terran player. It's just really, really rare. It doesn't really make a lot of sense. You can always just build the CC like slightly off position and then float over. I'm not sure exactly what Best's idea was there, but he tried it. He tried to do it. Now we've got, gas mining. Seems like Speed wants to make this CC. Actually, he is going to make the CC, so he's only mining this one on gas. Oh gosh, is he going to lose it? He has to cancel. Okay, he's going to try and make it. That's crazy. But Best, slips between the two SCVs there. Not able to get the block on that. Now another Zealot's coming down. The bunker's going to get started here. Great block so far with that SCV. One Marine does go down. He's going to try and target that low HP Zealot. He really needs to get rid of at least one of these to make it a little bit easier to micro against this. Oh! That was really close. Almost losing that Marine. Now going to jump inside the bunker. Another Zealot coming up here. Just going to run past the bunker. No block. Ooh, he was going to block there, but missed out on the block. This could fall apart here. Speed is having a very hard time stabilizing in this game state. A Nexus goes up back at home for Best, and even more Marines are going to end up dying. This is really looking rough. Gonna get 1 or 2 hits on this Zealot, and then probably going to lose the Marine. Yeah, So hard to avoid getting hit by that at all while putting some damage onto it. 3 HP left, so that will die. But this Zealot pressure has been extremely annoying. Nice block there to finally finish that off. Speed has his CC on the way, but he is struggling mightily here in this game. Already taking quite a bit of damage and being slowed down in his build by a lot. Not able to get the SCV up into the main base either. Now he has to prepare for everything. Could this be a DT follow-up? Is it going to be a Reaver? What are we going to see out of Best? Oh, he might get it. Oh, he didn't manually path that up the ramp. And so Best was able to cut the corner there and go underneath the SCV. Get in the way before Speed could head up that ramp. A reverse ramp. Really hurting Speed there. The pathing up that reverse ramp is kind of awkward. Unless you're manually pathing your worker towards that ramp. So Speed not able to get that information, man. He still, again, has to prepare for everything. And from a deficit, it's hard to prepare for everything and still be in a good economic position. We should be seeing an eBay here shortly. Just to make sure that he has at least a turret at the front here in case Best was following this up with an immediate DT. An armory goes down. Is he really going to go academy only? That would be a little bit wild. But maybe he thinks he needs to do it in order to try and catch back up. That is possible. Vulture here shaving off some of these shields. Doesn't want to take too much damage on that. It's very necessary that he gets out there on the map and sets some mines up around to start to prevent Best from easily taking another base. Oh, this mine could actually connect. Oh, it's so close. Oh, it was so close. Can he actually get this connection? Yes, he will. Boom. The blue blood has been spilled. Trying to slip by this Zealot. Tiny Zealot wall here. Actually, probably bring up a probe now. Bring the probe up to build in that wall. That would probably be a good idea at this point. He's got so few units. Does he bring the probe? He does. Putting the pylon in the wall there. Now can kind of back up. Hang tight. This Dragoon going to pop out on the outside, though, and the mine will definitely connect on that. Should be seeing another Zealot come out here soon from the main base. And probably a shuttle as well. Reaver Tech is ready. And so Reaver Tech will really help this out. Oh, he got rid of the mine that was closer to the gateway. This one Dragoon is kind of trapped here. Can he pick it up in time? Not going to be able to do it. Instead, dropping the Reaver here to try and take a shot. Does get one Vulture. But this is overall pretty darn good for Speed. He's held back that Protoss shuttle with the Reaver for quite some time. Slowed down that attack. Buying himself some precious seconds back at home to get mines out everywhere and turrets up in all the right spots. You can see a starport on the way here. Looks like he wants to go into a longer game, maybe. Going for a drop might be the play. Diving straight in. Oh, there's a second turret. Oh, this is calamitous. Catastrophe here for Best. That second turret is so good. Gonna bring up the SCVs here to start to try and fight this. Nice Reaver shot there. Actually, Dragoon can kill that. Loses 2 tanks, but no SCVs aside from what this Dragoon can kill. Gets a surround on that Dragoon. Looks like he will be able to trap that in the corner and kill it off. Very well played here by Speed. I think he lost like 2 or 3 SCVs total. 2 tanks for the Reaver shuttle and Dragoon. Not bad at all. Speed has really done a good job with this defense. He is quite good at putting on early pressure to the Protoss player to see exactly what they've got. Almost every game coming across the map early before the Reaver is out to force a response from the Protoss player and get the information that he desires. Again, with the 3 factory play, Speed's going to be able to make a lot of tanks. With this, oh, okay, it is going to be that drop. I don't know if he's going to throw down a science facility. Yeah, there's a CC, so he's probably going to go science facility after this. Not going to see a huge factory explosion, but he may go up to as many as 5 factories in order to take this third base, which is quite far from his natural. But a lot of space in the middle there, but he's already got out on the map. He's not being completely contained as of yet. Here comes a drop once again. Drop over here, but he can't drop. There's a CC. Loses almost all the health on that shuttle. That's very frustrating. Now the shuttle really can't do much without risking its life. Best kind of has to fall back with that. He's got his third base up, but it's not the quickest third base in the world. That's for sure. Citadel on the way now. Best is going to gear up for a potential bust on the third base. It's coming up here soon. Oh, the drop gets nothing done. He doesn't even unload. Uh-oh. That's pretty rough for his speed. Losing that drop and getting absolutely zero value from it. Here comes the CC now. Double Reaver over here. Double tank. Gonna be able to start hitting this. SCV goes down, but the Reaver takes quite a bit of damage. You can see almost dead in the shuttle. Speed will get this third base online very shortly after the fourth base of Best gets thrown down. So Best's going to be on 4 bases here soon, but Speed is right on curve having this third base up already. He's going to hunker down here, possibly buy a science facility moving forward. Hasn't actually seen anything, but he sees the barracks there floating. Knows that there's probably turrets that will be able to take that out. So falling back with the Reaver, we're going to see a bigger game here. Finally, guys, we're going to see a big game between these two. Match number 4. And we're going to get the potential for a max out on either side. We haven't seen a max out on either side. We're watching Best TVP and we haven't seen either player max out yet. That's wild to me. That is pretty crazy. Well, this has been a crazy series. Gonna catch some probes heading up to the north. 12 o'clock base gonna be ravaged by these vultures. Well, not too much damage here. The 2 cannons plus the quick response time of the Dragoons means you still got quite a bit of economy to work with. Behind on workers overall, though. Speed. 67 workers on 3 bases. Doesn't need much more than that. And he is going to be able to pump up to like 10 factories. Really start to slam out a ton of units. Should have +2 on the way. Gonna get the information here on that Reaver. Can he get the kill? Not quite. Sending vultures out to scout for that. To give that extra bit of vision range for the tanks rather than using the scan, which would alert Best to the possibility of tanks being ready to shoot that. Best, like I said before, not as good as a player like Snow with delaying pushes like this and dealing damage with the Reavers as stuff is pushing forward. You can see he's going to lose the shuttle very quickly. Both the Reavers go down. Speed on the warpath here. 166 supply is shoving across this map. Vultures here trying to get some damage on a few of these Dragoons, but trading straight up with Dragoons, not the best. I'm going to rotate around now. Try to head up over to this top or the center right, but he's leaving his tanks relatively exposed. If there's like a lot of zealots in the rally point right now, Best might be able to just overwhelm and kill all the tanks that are out on the map. That's some good damage there. He's getting some probes down. Not a whole lot of vultures here, though, and Speed is starting to spread out further and further. Slowly pushing northward. Waiting for Best to engage into him. But Best is waiting for the perfect moment. He's at least slipping up a few more probes to the north. before engaging with this army. He's got Templar with Storm. Ooh, I think Best might just smash through this first army, guys. Speed, his tank count not looking that high. And here comes some Dragoons. The army's going to start to push forward here. No siege just yet. There's some target fire on some of these. Oh, God. Oh, the Storm in the middle of all of this. The target fire on the shuttles was not good enough. The siege up comes a little bit late here. Zealots are drying out, but there's still enough Dragoons, I think, to overcome this army. Yeah, Zealots get right up here on top of everything. At the end of this fight, Dragoons are going to finish things off. That Storm was absolutely brutal on all those retreating tanks, catching Terran in a moment of weakness there, right as he was moving forward, diving on top of everything. Best is the best in the business, pun intended, at taking down Terran players who are pushing like this with shuttles, Zealots, Templar, Storm. You can never underestimate him, his ability to clean up armies like that. I'm gonna go ahead and prevent a fourth base from Speed. Speed gonna take 6 at the same time, though. You know, one of these bases is likely to stand. Getting up there towards that 70 SCV count. Best likewise on 70 probes himself. I don't think there's a tech transition or anything like that coming from Best, but he's just focusing on macroing up and maxing out as quickly as possible. Trading out a few vultures for a couple dragoons. After they've laid down their mines, they're not nearly as valuable, so can be traded out here. Army moving northward again. But this base not looking that well prepared. Tanks are mostly unsieged here, and there's not a lot of vultures. Speed is attacking into top left, but he's potentially going to be losing his fourth base here. Yeah, not being set up in time is really going to cost him. SCVs will have to be pulled. Looks like he's going to clear out all the probes over at top left, but the vultures need to be sent back home now. Can't be allowing this to break through his natural. Going to flank this army. Try to pick off some of these Templar before they get their storms off. Good snipes there. And in fact, Speed will hold on. He may even be able to get this CC back over to retake that base here shortly. Going up to the north. There are quite a few cannons in this base. Gonna throw away the remainder of these vultures to get as many probes as possible. Pretty good damage here, down to 55. Remember, that was at 70 before this vulture harass began. So really ripping those probe numbers apart. Finally, Best's gonna start to stabilize here. Speed doing the same thing on his side of the map, setting up that 6 o'clock position here shortly again. Picking off some shuttles here in the middle, and he's going to actually get quite a few observers as well. He's killed off quite a few already. Best losing a lot of observers. He's flying around the right-hand side, though. It looks like he wants to attack 6 o'clock again. May have a bunch of storms ready for that purpose. Yeah, I think he does. A lot of storms here. Can he actually catch a huge amount of SCVs that have just been transferred? Here we go. Storms on the ramp. Really good storm there, killing a lot of SCVs and a lot of vultures that are meant to clear this. Goliath's getting killed as well. Vultures will get up here finally. One more second. Not able to get another storm off there. Needed just one more energy to put down another storm, but wasn't able to get it. Tank plus vulture over here. Likely to do a bit of damage. Good target fire there to get as many probes as possible. One more shot. Big shot there, killing off a lot of probes. Down to just 51, 49. Speed kind of winning out in the overall harassment campaign. The war of attrition here between both players is starting to favor Speed a little bit, but he has to hold on to this counterattack. Oh, great mine there. Doing a lot of damage. Best taking that damage right before a potential bust through at this 6 o'clock. Speed with the balls. Gonna go ahead and just take bottom right immediately. Leaves with the vultures right as the army is coming in, though. And so he doesn't have the vultures on top of these tanks to help out against all of the zealots. Going to bring them back now. But here comes the storm. Storm's getting laid down on top of a lot of these vultures. Tanks on high ground are doing great. The D-matrixes are insane. Really holding back a lot here as Best attempts to shove forward. Best going to try to get up onto this high ground. Try to break the high ground here. And if he does get on top of this entire mineral line, he's going to do so much damage. Oh my gosh. 3 tanks are going to die to those 2 storms. Archons are running forward here on top of tanks, actually getting a kill as well. One of the most successful Archons I've seen in PvT. It's like this CC going to be pushed away. Speed has lost a lot of his resources. His precious SCVs have been taken down. Going after this Templar, he's not able to get it. The storm goes down. And now Speed is in a desperate struggle. Oh, he killed the Nexus up here. No way. He actually killed the Nexus. We completely missed that drop. But the Nexus was killed in top left. That's actually saving Speed in this game. That's keeping him alive here. Everything going to be taken down, and Speed can reclaim this base, but Best has a 50 supply advantage. If he can leverage this at the 6 o'clock, he should be able to bust that. Speed has to bring everything. You can see he's already pulled every single tank from any other defensive position. Everything is being pulled to hold this base. Bunch of shuttles moving around this side. He's going to find the CC there on low ground, most likely. Catching some probes over on this side. Speed, is he going to be caught with no vultures again in defense of this base? Templars going to be dropped here, getting a lot of SCV kills. Down to just 43. Storms on the ramp are so damaging, killing off so many SCVs and tanks. Cannot get into position to actually defend this, and the CC has been badly damaged. 67 supply left. I think Best has got this, guys. He has managed to bust through despite everything Speed did to try and limit the economy. In the end, he's falling desperately far behind. Only 30 workers to the 52 of Best. Still, you can see the results of all of that damage on the side of Best as well. Just 52 workers here at the 22-minute mark. Kind of crazy. Protoss should be sitting around that 70 mark, but he's consistently killed those off. More Templars coming forward. A great EMP. Wait, that EMP was extremely clutch. The EMP is doing so much damage there, and there's tanks on this high ground. Does he have anything in the drop? He must have some zealots in here. Templar Storm on top of these tanks, eviscerating the mineral line. More storm here for those tanks on that high ground. Getting rid of those. Best just has infinite storm here, guys. And now going to have a bunch of Archons to start cleaning up these SCVs. Finally, one of those science vessels goes down. Oh my goodness, that's it. 16 workers left. There's no way for Speed to win this game. We're waiting for the tap out now. Best has Speed locked down. Locked down harder than Johnny Somali, guys. This guy is cooked. Absolutely screwed. Will be forced to tap out here momentarily. This drop has been insanely productive for Speed. It's done so much damage, but it's in the end not been enough, as Speed just hasn't had the army ready to defend that 6 o'clock ever. Over and over again getting busted there by Best. And so he'll have to reflect on that, the decisions made this game, and how he can do better in our next one, guys. This is a complete fantasy GG timing. I've never seen a more fantasy GG than this one. 15 workers, guys. Come on. We're really going to try it here. He's put together 7 vultures, 1 dropship, and a dream. And he somehow kill all the probes. And even if he does that, hold the army, I don't think it's possible, guys. 163, it's 100 supply advantage for Best. If he just puts everything together and attacks the natural, he should just straight up kill everything. Wow, look at all the Archons here on high ground. Kind of crazy. That's a lot of Archons, boys. I'm going to pick off a couple of Dragoons here and there. Tanks moving out the top lane. I guess he's going to go ahead and try to attack top left. Best, I mean, he has so much, guys. He really doesn't need to try and end here. He can just wait for this push. And once Speed tries to move forward and just crush it. As soon as he crushes that push, the game is over. Oh, he loses the drop. And Speed taps out. That drop was the last thing keeping him in this game, and he leaves. Ooh. Here it is. Best, top right. Speed, bottom right on Deja Vu. An incredibly close series so far, but not reflected in the overall score. Best is up and on match point. If Speed doesn't manage to take this game, the series will be over. Best going to take home that $500. Just announced that tomorrow is going to be Rush versus Action in the SOOP Duel series, guys. That should be a lot of fun as well. If you can, make it out to the live stream. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And that'll be tomorrow. I guess the 1st of May. Welcome to May. We're here. We made it. Springtime has sprung. I've been enjoying the nice weather. Getting outside a lot more. I recently started a job doing a bit of rice farming here in Japan. I've only done 2 days so far, but it's been pretty fun working with a family farm. Basically, the whole family's out there rice farming together and working together, eating together. Really nice experience and nice to practice my Japanese a little bit because I've been lacking on that pretty badly. I've been really slow on learning Japanese. I have been practicing at home and I have textbooks and stuff that I work on, but being out and actually talking to people is really what being in Japan is great for. Like, why would you want to immerse yourself in the culture? It's fantastic for learning the language. So it's nice to get outside a little bit more, enjoy the weather. Hope you guys are having a great spring so far, and that you're getting outside a little bit more as well. But I'm certainly glad that you're here watching. Some of these series have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm hoping for a nice long series here between Best and Speed. Looks like he hides the SCV over at this natural. Speed is going to get a nice little scout off to confirm that this upgrade is indeed coming, that the range upgrade has not been canceled. He's even going to block the Nexus from getting started. Not really ready to throw that down here just yet is Best, but still Speed gonna get that block on and know exactly when that Nexus comes down. In fact, he's got his CC started quite a bit before the Nexus can get started, which is awesome. He didn't go back in to scout the Cybernetics core, so he doesn't know that this wasn't canceled and some other sort of tech thrown down, whether that be DT or immediate robo or something like that. He won't know, but it's completely fine. He's actually gone around the right-hand side with the Vulture. Might slip by here. Uh-oh, Best. Not having another Dragoon out just yet. I think this Dragoon's going to pop like now. Right about now. Well, not yet. And he's going to have to... Okay, there it is. And now the probes are going to start to fall. 1 probe, 2 probe, and a third. 3 probes. Going to get a 4th. A 4th probe is insane, guys. 4 probes. That's pretty darn good. I'd say 4 probes absolutely worth it, but he didn't see the Citadel. Oh gosh, that Citadel barely out of vision there. Speed not going to know that that's coming. We'll pull another SCV for this bunker. Looks like he will get it up here in time. Speed, how is he going to follow this up? Will he be able to block the incoming attack? This DT play, pretty sneaky stuff out of Best. Speed doesn't have that eBay started here just yet. Going for his second factory. Might even start an armory before that if he wants to get a little more greedy. Could end up paying for it. This is not the fastest DT in the world, so I assume Speed should have a turret and or at least some mines at the front in order to stop this, but we'll see how much he's cut here. 3 tanks now at this front. How greedy is Speed? Is he actually going to take a lot of damage to this? He's in a great macro position. His CC was faster. He's done a lot of damage. Killed, what, 3, 4 probes? Right, 4 probes were killed. That is nasty. These tanks on the high ground are doing a great job bullying back. There's the engineering bay. There's the DTs. Oh, God. Speed. He waited so long to throw down this eBay. And he isn't going for mines, I don't think. I don't think he has mines, guys. The engineering base just finishing up now. I think we might see Best just straight up win here. Yeah, there's the DT. He probably sees it right now. At least he hears it. For sure. 1 tank gonna go down. Marines are gonna be pulled. He tries to head out on the map, but the DTs are doing so much damage. Oh my gosh. 3 tanks died of the DTs. 3 tanks have already gone down. The Marines all leave the bunker and they die as well. Even if this turret finishes, he's not going to be able to hold. Yeah, there goes the tanks. Turret's done. But what does he have to actually deal with the DTs? He's going to try and surround it with the SCVs, but that's not going to go very well. SCVs get absolutely shredded by these DTs. DTs try to get on top of the Vulture. Vulture's much better at dealing with this, but down to 27 SCVs already. Really shouldn't have pulled the Marines out of that bunker, man. The Marines coming out of the bunker was pretty crazy. But he gets up here into the main base. There's no turret over this main mineral line. And so more SCVs will go down here. Turrets at least get laid out in the front, but there it is. GG. Speed taps out. An anticlimactic end to this series, guys. 4 probes only pissed off Best. Yeah, maybe. Only pissed him off. Oh, boy. Speed was not ready for that counterattack. Was not ready for that DT play. He was so close to spotting that in the main base, by the way. With that Vulture. Ended up getting that one last probe, that 4th probe, but the Citadel, if he had spotted it, would have been a much better use of that Vulture. Getting over there and seeing it would have completely prepared him for that follow-up, but he had no idea what was coming. This is a match that I anticipated. This would be very hype, but I never expected it to go down quite like this. We had 3 extremely close matches, with Best coming out ahead each time, and then the final there, the DT play, just finishing him off. Speed's definitely still got some work to do if he wants to take on Best. Best looking like championship material. That is for sure. And speed's just not quite there when it comes to even online play, I suppose. Best really giving it to him here in this series. We're going to take a couple minutes here, guys, and just chill out. Create kind of an anti-spoiler. I'm going to take a look, see if I can find the exact date when this is played. I will post it in the description of the YouTube video, but I can do this now. Let's see. I think it might be this one right here. Looks like not. No. Oh, there's quite a few potential best versus speed games that we could actually cast. That's exciting. Maybe we'll get another rematch here. We'll get a rematch between these two in the future. I certainly wouldn't be opposed. I'm a big fan of both these players. Hope we get some more great games between them. Yeah, this looks like it. It was played on the March 7th, guys. This series was played March 7th. So, pretty darn recent. That's awesome to see. Glad we're getting more recent games from Starcast TV. GG's, man, this is the greatest era of Starcraft. Never had so many games to watch in English before. I know. I agree. It is an awesome era of Starcraft. When I started this channel, I was a bit depressed about the way Starcraft was going, that there wasn't enough English content out there, and I was being forced to constantly watch Korean content if I wanted to keep up with the scene. So I decided to make a change to try to make more content for people like me. And I'm very proud to say that I think we've achieved a level of English casting, an amount of English casting that's very satisfying for any big fan of Broodwar out there. We've got Artosis cast now, came out after I started my channel, but that's been a huge boon. This SOOP DUEL series has been amazing. The replay casts have been a lot of fun. The KCM has been fantastic. That's been an absolute joy to cast and to watch. It's been so much fun. And so I think we're at that level now. I think we're at a really good amount of Broodwar in English that nobody's going to feel bored. Nobody's going to, you know, start watching something else because there's nothing to see English-wise for Broodwar. Even between ASL seasons, there's still so much to consume. So much content to watch. That's exactly what I wanted from the very beginning, guys. 5 years it's been casting Broodwar for you guys. We've been through many ups and downs, but I could say that this is probably a pretty high peak. I don't know how high we can go, but this feels like a peak, guys. We're at maybe one of the best spots we've been, and I've been enjoying every moment of it. All the hills and valleys have been just fun. It's all been fun. All the ups and downs, all the craziness. I've still enjoyed it because I just love this game. It's just so much fun to watch. Definitely one of the best, if not the best, viewer experience-wise game that's out there. Thank you guys for watching. I think this is a long enough anti-spoiler and we don't have a lot of chattering going on right now. Still 19 of you guys in here for the live cast. Really appreciate you guys. The donations, of course, very much appreciated as well. Again, we will have that dual cast coming out soon. And you guys can catch the ASL live on Monday, 7 p.m. Korean Standard Time. We've got some great matchups in the round of 8. The second half could be just as explosive and crazy as the first half. So far, definitely best versus 0 is the highlight, but we might see an even better series in the second half. It's possible. PvP, not my favorite matchup in the world, but who do I favor? Rain versus Snow. Complete pragmatism, I would say probably Rain, but my heart is with Snow. That's who I want to win. I think Snow gives us a better series versus either Rush or Sulky. Yeah, I think Rain will beat Snow and lose the next match. Yeah. I think you're right. I think you're right. Unfortunately, I think that's probably how it's going to go. I think that Snow would definitely give us a better match against either of those two players. So I want him to win. And I'm also a big Snow fan. So again, I want him to win. But it is what it is. Rain is incredibly good. Yeah, his PvP is disgusting. He is such a brainiac of a player. I'd love to see Snow go through. Another Snow versus Sulky match would be amazing. Snow versus Rush, I think, would be a lot of fun too. But I think Rain gets probably smashed by either one of those players. That's just how I'm feeling right now. So that's going to be my prediction. Yeah, you can catch that on Monday, guys. That's Monday. And once again, tomorrow, we got Rush versus Action. Best of 7 series between those two players. Not sure exactly what or when those were played, but we'll find out once we get into those games. Sulky probably can't be stopped regardless. Yeah. Yeah. We'll see. We'll see. It's the thing about being the top, right? Everybody wants you to fall. Everybody's praying for your downfall. Sulky's done a pretty good job of staying on top over these past years. Past 2 years have been pretty Sulky dominant. We'll see if he can continue that streak. He's already kind of cleared out most of the Zerg out of his path, right? He's had Hero eliminated in the group of death. Jaedong's gone. Queen's gone. He doesn't have to worry about ZVZ anymore. That's big. That's huge. Right, I said I wasn't going to talk about ASL. But I guess that's what we're doing. At least it wasn't during the matches. We're here at the end of the video, just chatting, creating a little bit of an anti-spoiler. We're talking about what we think is going to happen, so hopefully people who haven't had time to watch the ASL have tuned out by now. I think this is where we're going to end, guys. Thanks for watching. Spoiler, anti-spoiler, yeah. A little bit of spoilers in the anti-spoiler. It's a bit of a oxymoron. No, what is it called? It's a misdirect is what it is. Alright, Junk. Thanks for stopping by, man. Hopefully see you in another live cast. Everybody else out there, have a great day. Have a great night. Get out there and enjoy the beautiful spring weather. I know I will be. Be seeing you soon for another great SOOP Duel series.